Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we're going to continue the Q&A. Now, I didn't get to go through all of the questions. You guys asked more than I had anticipated, and I picked the best ones I could, and I just didn't get them done in one video, so we're going to do more. But before we do that, I'm going to do a quick sponsor spot. Into the AM, it's the t-shirt people. I'm still doing a sponsorship with them because I still really like their clothes. The thing we want to focus on is that they do have a subscription service. Now, it's not like the usual subscription service where you're paying a whole bunch for a bunch of crap. You're getting a discounted price on the clothing, on the shirt. It's the graphic tees. It's a discounted price, and you get a random graphic tee in the mail every month. So you save money, but you don't get to pick out the shirt. You can decide if that's good for you or not, but if you don't want to do that, they do still have the bundle deals. You get the 3 graphic tees or the 3 plain shirts. Save some money that way. It's a good option. You will still save money if you use my link in the description below, and also that gets you your first shirt free on the subscription. So that's a pretty good deal. And I do want to say, though, they are excellent shirts. I love the designs. They're super duper colorful. They are fantastic. I get compliments on them all the time. I happen to think they fit really well. They fit me really well. I have kind of an athletic build. They have nice narrow sleeves, long torsos. They're exactly what I want in a t-shirt, and I love them, and that's why we're doing the sponsors. Sponsor spots. Sponsors? Sponsorships. Sponsor things. Okay, so that's it. Let's go ahead and get back into the questions. I believe we left off right here. J-Lo Ferrer. I can't roll my R's. It looks like I should roll my R for that, but I can't. Sorry. Can you tell us more about your weight loss journey and what brought you on it? I can get into it briefly. I'm not sure that many people are going to want to know about it, but hey, maybe they will. Maybe there's a few of you guys out there who could use to lose a few pounds. I didn't realize I had lost as much as I had until I went to the doctor the other day, and when I watched my own video from like last November. Wow. Don't go back and watch that. So I had some health issues that weren't like serious health issues. Couldn't figure out what it was. Turned out it was like fatty liver, which is not like a particularly big deal, but it's a thing and it can happen whether you're big or not, but it did happen with me. And the way to fix it is to eat basically a no carb diet, give or take. Lower fat, no carb diet. And I wanted to fix that because liver problems aren't good to have. And I was overweight, and I didn't used to be overweight that much, so I figured, what the heck, I'll get in shape. So I did. I went completely lean meat and veg for like a few months, and now I'm a little bit less lean. I include some more fat because fat's good for you in a lot of ways, the right kinds of fat. Anyway, I just eat basically meat and vegetables, no carbs, 0 carbs other than what's in vegetables, or like if there's carbs in nuts or something like that, like almonds have some carbs, and I don't eat a ton of nuts, or cashews, you know, things like that. Those kind of, no bread products, no grain, none of that kind of stuff. So meat and veg, and a lot of weightlifting and working out. Not like I do a ton of weightlifting, but over time it was a lot of heavy things being picked up and set down. That's it. That's all. Mostly diet, a little bit of working out. No cardio. Cardio sucks. I mean, I'm not recommending that. I'm not a doctor. None of this is, I'm not saying what you should do. It's just what I did. Aaron Johnson, what's the most disappointing figure you have ever purchased? Easy, 3A Master Chief. It's a piece of garbage. I keep burping. I didn't even drink any pop. What's going on? Anyway, now I'm choking. Piece of garbage. Go back to that review. It's an old review, so the quality's not great. My audio is probably crap, but check out that review. It's terrible. I might link it in the description if I remember, or put it up in the corner. It is a terrible, one of the worst figures I've ever experienced by far, and it was really expensive, so that is that. Let me make sure everything's recording properly real quick. Okay, yes. All right, figure obsessive. Why do you dislike displaying your figures? Approximately how many figures do you have currently? I don't dislike displaying my figures. I just have too damn many, so I have a very small batch of figures I put on display. As far as how many do I have, I don't see. In the last video I was thinking about that, and I'm remembering different numbers, and I haven't checked in a long time. It's multiple thousands. Yeah, it's multiple thousands. I think if I had to guess right now what I actually think is accurate, because I never went and looked, and I never tried to update my collection spreadsheets, I think it's around 5,000. I think. It might be less. I did sell some stuff. That's what I think. We're talking individual pieces, including like all the Halo figures from McFarlane. all the Marvel Legends, all the DC UC, that kind of stuff. So those, they add up fast. Like, that sounds like a ton, but anybody who's been collecting for a long period of time, you know that's not earth-shattering. It sounds like a lot, but like there's like what, 800 Marvel Legends alone, something like that. So if you do it long enough, you end up with a lot of stuff. But I am trying to prune that down some. We may have a sale soon. Louis or Louis, I don't know how to decide that. Bays, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to get these names right always. Can you pick the best set of toys to represent the Avengers, Justice League, and X-Men and Batman and Robin? Okay, I'm going to go for the Avengers. I would go Marvel Legends, comic stuff. Justice League, if you're talking about the new movie, it's probably the McFarlane figures. I don't have mine yet, but they look decent. If you're talking about old Justice League, DCUC, that line definitely has plenty of flaws, but it's also highly underrated. It's a very consistent line, and they look like the comic book counterparts. There's something to be said for that. So the DCUC line is definitely worth looking into for like your classic DC stuff. X-Men, it has to be Marvel Legends. Batman and Robin. DCUC. I'm going DCUC on that. None of this DC Direct stuff that breaks if you look at it. They have the cartoon look going for them, obviously, but if I had to pick just any DC, like any look for Batman, yeah, DCUC, definitely. Andrew Quiroga, definitely pronounced that one wrong. What are your thoughts on the Legends going up to $22.99 in price? Aside from getting them for reviews, do you recommend casual collectors still stay with the line? Well, I always recommend people buy what they enjoy. That is ultimately it. Like, people get mad at me when I say something's bad in the reviews. I've reviewed things that I said were bad that I enjoyed. Like, I said that in the video. I collect things that aren't good sometimes because I enjoy them. You should buy what you like. Whether what you like is absolute garbage or the best thing in the world, if you enjoy it, that's what you should buy. And if you can afford it, the way you're supposed to be able to afford things like this, these aren't necessities. These are luxury items. If you can afford it and you enjoy it, that's what you should collect. It doesn't matter at all what the price is or what's good or what's not. If you enjoy it, that's the only goal in collecting. It should be good for you. Now, from a more objective standpoint, we shouldn't be giving these companies money for things that aren't worth the money. So as long as Marvel Legends keep up with their price point climbing, then I think that's fine. I wouldn't be collecting anywhere near as many Legends as I do, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm reviewing them. Most Legends don't do a thing for me. Even if I like the characters, most of the figures are drab and bland and not fun. A lot of them are good, but most of them don't do anything for me personally. So it's really a personal thing. I do think we need to keep in mind, though, as collectors, that we have to vote for what we want with our wallets. And if companies don't get enough money for what they're making, they'll make something that will get them more money. And if that means increasing quality will get them more money, they'll figure it out. So that's something to consider. Jacob Wilson, what do you think is the most quality $20 toy line? Well, $20 puts it very tricky because are there any companies at $20 right now other than McFarlane? Most Marvel Legends are up in price. Let's just keep Legends at $20 for the sake of argument. Let's say there are a couple NECA figures still at the $20 price point. I think most of them have creeped up to $25 or more, depending on if they're Ultimates or not. So I think technically McFarlane wins the $20 price point just by default. But it's tough. It's tough. Legends are more reliable in that you know what you're going to get. McFarlane gives you a lot of new sculpt, like almost always new sculpt for your money, but the paints are lacking and articulation is crap. NECA nails sculpt and paint and accessories, but quality control, that's a tough one. I tend to lean towards NECA just because I'd rather deal with quality control and a product that I want to own, rather than a figure that I don't care as much for owning. Does that make sense? Like, there's a lot of Marvel figures that I'm not that worried about QC from Hasbro, but I don't care that much about owning them because they look so plasticky and like toys rather than collectibles. So I'd lean towards NECA, but I think McFarlane wins by default. Dragon969, what's your favorite custom that you've ever been commissioned to do? That's a tough one. I really liked Strider Hear You. I'm not going to give just one because I don't even know if I can remember them all off the top of my head. Strider Hear You was good. The Mr. Freeze with the insulin canister on his back, that was a good one. I really liked Nightmare Luffy a lot too. Bebop and Rocksteady were really good. I've made oh, the gargoyles. Nah, that's hard to pick. I can't pick one. And you pick one of those for me. You can choose which ones you like from that small list that I just provided. Clumsy Webhead. Are you familiar with Small Soldiers? I am. If so, what company would you want to tackle their figures if they were made? Figure Arts. That instantly came to me as, well, no. First I thought NECA, then I thought no, Figure Arts. Figure Arts is going to be able to give us that toy look while being highly articulated. NECA's really good at doing the more realistic look. I don't know if they could nail the plasticky toy look. Plus, they mostly use PVC, whereas Figure Arts use PVC in conjunction with harder plastics, and the way they do it, I think Figure Arts is the right style choice. I wouldn't mind seeing NECA or Storm tackle it. Maybe Storm. No. Maybe Storm. No, I'm gonna go with Figure Arts. I think Figure Arts. But I don't want it to be like the Kinnikuman figures. I want it to be like the Dragon Ball figures. Alright. Eldritch Pumpkin Ghost. 2 questions. Do you think Snyder did more good or bad for the DCEU? If you're talking about just for the Justice League, I don't know what else he's been involved in. I don't pay attention. I don't really like Snyder that much, but I think the Snyder cut, or whatever they're calling it for the Justice League, was markedly better than the original cut. It was a fine movie. It was too long and it had issues, obviously. Plenty of problems, but if that was the thing they released originally, with a little bit of editing, I think it would have gone over just fine. The original Justice League was a turd. This was actually a solid film for what it was. And then, are DC Multiverse figures better off with Mattel or McFarlane long term? McFarlane, just because Mattel figures are straight up poop. They had bad sculpts and bad everything else. At least McFarlane generally gets the good sculpting done. Some better paint, that kind of stuff. I'm pretty much not going to side with Mattel for just about anything anymore. Their DCUC line was definitely fraught with issues, being whatever it was, but that was the last thing they made that I was actually interested in buying, really. Diesel0306, favorite gun to shoot? Ooh. I enjoy my Strybog quite a bit, but it's almost too easy to shoot, kind of like an AR. I would go with, I like my Canik TP9 SFX. I like that one a lot. That one's fun to shoot. I like that. Yeah, I'll go with that. Ramen Samurai. What more characters are we going to expect in Rival Collectibles? Oh, well, I haven't shown you any final characters yet, but there's going to be a bunch. I don't know them yet. I have their heads designed and their different bodies kind of figured out, but I don't know for sure what arrangements I'm going to make to turn into characters. Are you planning to make your own versions of Marvel characters in this line? Not really. I might pay homage to some characters with certain figures, but not directly, because there's licensing concerns there, obviously. And also, how much are the prototypes? You don't want to buy the prototypes. I don't have actual prototypes. I have working prototypes, and I put it in air quotes because I made them out of my own resin, and they're not made out of plastic, so the hard parts are relatively brittle. They're not like nylon or POM or anything like that, or yeah, they're not nylon or POM, and the soft parts aren't PVC. They're a softer resin, which is still hard. Like, they're not usable. I have them standing over there. They look cool as hell, but they're not like really usable. Maybe at some point I'll sell them in some capacity as like some kind of special thing if somebody really wants them. But they're not functional, so I don't think that's a really good idea. The only reason I say I might is because I get so many people asking me if they can buy them. And I like money. Good questions. Uriel Landeros. If you could retain the rights for any franchise to spearhead the design and creation of 1/12 scale figures, what franchise would you choose? I'm sure it's been asked, but just in case it hasn't. It hasn't. Good question. I'm guessing most of you have already figured this out. Some of you are thinking Halo. No. Halo figures are fun for me to own. I love Halo as a video game, but I don't want to make guys in robot suits. That's not fun for me. I want to make Street Fighter. My goal, if I do the Rival Collectibles thing successfully and I'm able to launch my own studio successfully, my goal is at one point to be able to get a license for Street Fighter and to make a line of Street Fighter figures the way I would make them, and I think the way you guys would want them. Good question. I like that question. Makes me happy for the future because I might be able to someday make Street Fighter figures. Neo Arcada or Arcada, what's your favorite alcoholic drink? I don't drink. I don't not drink completely. I just don't really drink, especially with the liver thing I told you guys about. I never really did drink. Yeah, I never really did drink. I don't drink now at all. But if I had to say, I would just like craft beer. Darker the better. That kind of thing. That's all. I mean, obviously there's good stuff like Kahlua and things like that that just taste good, but that doesn't count. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really drink, so. MN05. What is your dream ideal figure arts DB figure, and what would it include? Mine is a 2.0 Trunks with removable jacket and all of those other details you guys can see on screen. I would like a new Piccolo where he's actually chunky and big, like chunky's good, like muscular. That's what I want. And a special beam cannon. That's it. I don't know why we don't have that. That last Piccolo was halfway there and halfway still back in 2005 or whenever the line started. I don't know what happened with that last Piccolo. They totally dropped the ball halfway through. So I want a new Piccolo. I want a new Piccolo when he's a badass and he's kicking ass, and I want a new Piccolo. Otherwise, I want the other androids. I want the Jiro android and the Fat Clown android. What are their numbers? 19 and 20? 19 and 20, right? Yeah, I want those two. Those would be cool. And as far as accessories for them go, whatever. Like the torn off arms would be cool for Vegeta. That would be cool. Torn off arms with Vegeta's hands on them for the clown one. Yeah. Jonathan De La Cruz. Collecting can be dangerous addiction when it comes to money. Any tips on how to manage that aspect? Don't buy stuff because other people are. Don't buy stuff because it's popular. In fact, I have a whole video on this. I'll link it in the description if I can remember to do it. Otherwise, look for my 10 tips for collectors or whatever it is video. Watch that video. That'll help a lot. Good question. Sum Tang Wong. What are your top 5 most wanted Marvel Legends if Hasbro made it? Okay. I want a new Colossus. I want a new Wolverine. I want a new Cyclops. I want a new Gambit. And I want a new Rogue. If I had to pick 5, I think I'd go with those 5, and I want them made the way I'm envisioning them in my head, which is all the Jim Lee stuff. That's all. It's not much. It's not too much to ask. Al-Asi Sarabi, I probably pronounced that wrong. What was your first action figure? I don't know for sure. I was collecting action figures for a long time as a kid, like not really collecting, but my parents were buying them for me, my brother and me for our birthday. Anyway, I don't know when these came out, but I have 2 distinct memories. One is the Power Rangers that were like the 10-inch ones. They came in like the triangular boxes. I guess they were triangular prism boxes. I don't know if those came out before this other thing or not, but I had the old Toy Biz Cyclops with the blue outfit with the white X on him, and he had this big triangular gun thing that went on his arms. When he raised his arms up, you could stick that on there. It was either. Oh, he also had light up eyes, I think. It was either one of those as my first action figure. I think. Unless it was Gargoyles. I used to have the Gargoyles figures. No, you know what? That's not true. I had some of the Michael Keaton Batman figures. I don't know. Any one of those, whichever one of those came out first would be one of the first ones. I don't know when they came out, and I was too little to keep track of dates. WP, which is your favorite? The original Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super, and why? Dragon Ball Z, for sure. I think it had the most utility for more characters. Super did a good job of trying to mix people in, but I felt like Super's plot was just so atrociously bad that it was just like... I mean, Dragon Ball Z's plot is bad too, but Super took that idea and was like, let's make it only about fighting. Like, there is no plot. The Android Saga, I think, really brought Z some life. Whereas the Super Saga has... I know it's not the Super Saga, but the Super storyline... There's no interest there. It's just strong guy number 1 versus strong guy number 2. And then the whole other group of Saiyans, Kale and Kali, I don't know what their names are. Kefla? Whatever. And the boy, I don't know their names. I don't remember their names anymore. I thought they were all just throwaway characters. I know I'm going to get flamed for that. You guys all want figures for the girls because you're all a bunch of weirdos. But they had no character arc at all. Rage has already been done. Just being angry doesn't make you an interesting character. I hated all of the characters except for Jiren, kind of, and the mustache guy. I mean, like, as far as the super strong ones. I did not enjoy Super at all, and that's why I like Z more. Dragon Ball was fine, but it doesn't have the fighting aspect that I like. I like the adventure aspect of Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z has the fighting that I wanted, with a bit of that adventure-y mystery going on, too. Alright, I've just pissed off everybody, but... oh well... I don't know how to pronounce that name. Ewan's 40th Day. Which Street Fighter character are you waiting for Storm Collectibles to make? Let me answer that one before I go on. I really want Vega, and I really want Balrog, and I really want Blanca. So all of those. Will you be making a Cyber Samurai or any type of samurai in your figure line, or is it just Ninja Shinobi? Yeah, I've already done it. Check out my video. I posted some images within that video to show some of the samurai stuff. It's not straight up Ninja / Shinobi. It is gonna have like anything I think is cool, basically. But right now it's mostly ninja type stuff and samurai type stuff. Good questions. Herbie Atkinson, when and how did you get into Halo, and what is your favorite Master Chief armor? Right from the beginning. I was playing it before it came out at GameStop one day. So right from the beginning, when it was brand spanking new, been playing it ever since. My favorite Master Chief armor is probably going to be the new Halo Infinite armor, although I'm about to ruin you guys for those of you who really like it and don't notice things until I point it out, and then you can't not notice it. The way they've done his chest plate is very weird because it sits way up. Because it's armor and because they're trying to make it look like human anatomy with the pec line, it's way higher up than the pec line would be. So it's like the chest armor is sitting from shoulder to mid-pec, and that drives me nuts. But otherwise, I'll go with Halo. I really like the Halo 4 armor, but it's far less iconic, so Halo 3. Or Halo 1. Could be any of them. Furno Harvey. I probably pronounced that wrong. Favorite movie and least favorite movie? Well, I already talked about my favorite movies in the other one, but I'll go with The Matrix for the number one. Least favorite movie. Do people have a least favorite of something with such a wide variety of things? The least favorite movie I've ever seen, ever? Or maybe my most disappointing movie. Get ready to be upset. I'm going to answer this just to make people mad. Not really, but he asked the question, so I'll answer it. If I had to think of a movie that bothers me a lot that I didn't want to bother me, I'll go with Dark Knight Returns. And I actually mean what I'm saying. I'm not just saying it to troll people. I actually hate that movie because it's a giant, terrible pile. Sir117, I know, you've been around for a long time, by the way, thanks for the support. I know in previous live streams while playing Warframe there was talk about a cooking channel. Obviously it was in a joking manner, but would you ever actually consider doing some cooking on YouTube? I would personally enjoy that. Well, it was always in a joking manner, but I did almost go to culinary school, and I do love food, and I do love cooking. And if I thought it was a viable thing, I would do like a secondary channel with cooking on it. Or maybe I could somehow work it into this channel. I have plenty of recipes, especially now that I'm on a diet. I'm coming up with weird new recipes and ways to make things that are diet friendly, like cheesecake. And I mean, that's easy, but all kinds of stuff. So maybe I would do it, but I don't think it would be a viable thing for the channel. So in that sense, I wouldn't. I would want to, though. Good question. We're doing good on time. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Team Daddy, do you do custom action figure or will you do custom action figures? Oh my gosh. Will you do custom action figure videos again like the ones you used to do? Probably not, because I'm not taking commissions right now because I'm working on a whole line of figures that are my own, and that's taking up too much time, and that is the end game of what the customizing was. If that fails, I'll keep working on that, and if it keeps failing, then maybe eventually I'll do more customs, but as of right now, my customs is the whole brand new line of action figures. So, as of right now, no, I won't have videos of custom figures anytime soon. Jamma, who are your personal favorite characters from anything? Favorite overall characters? That's easy. Master Chief, Dinobot, Ryu, Akuma, because they kind of go together. That's them. Those are my favorites for sure. But if I wanted to extend that a little bit more, I would go with those ones. But then I would also go with Zoro from One Piece, and probably... Let me think of another one. I like Dante a whole bunch. So there you go, Dante. And of course, if I'm going to go Ninja Turtles, Leonardo's the best turtle ever. I just like to throw things like that in to see everybody get mad that their turtle is more better. You guys can let me know which turtle is the bestest in the comment section below. Yog Zolotl. Are you ever coming back to review any of the missing Halo 3 line figures individually? You mean like just ones that I never ended up reviewing that I own, since I own all of them? Maybe. I might throw some old school Halo figure reviews up on the channel once Infinite comes out, but I don't know for sure. Victor Von Doom, what is your favorite cartoon of all time? If we're talking strictly domestic, it's either going to be Beast Wars, if that counts, and then it's either going to be Gargoyles or Batman the Animated Series. I would tend toward I would say Batman, but it had less of a through line, and I think Gargoyles had more of an overarching story, so I might lean towards Gargoyles. But Beast Wars beats both of those by far, if I could do that. Is that the last question? Did I get through all the questions? No way. I did. I got through all the questions. All right. Well, that's it. I thought there was one more. Apparently not. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. Make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.